Most, you're going to hear a lot about that for the next 2 weeks, aren't you?
Yeah, he's a clown and he brings on himself, but as long as he's scoring tries, he'll get away with it, won't he? So.
He is a breath of fresh air, though, isn't he? I mean, I think the last England player to score 4 tries at Twickenham was you. But
we covered the same amount of yardage in total.
Yeah, that's right. 1 try against the 4 tries of yours. But he is quite inspirational, and just in his character, Nick, isn't he?
Yeah, you know, some of the young guys have come in, have, you know, been playing well on form, and have really added something. You know, Tom in his 2 games, you know, likes of Ben Youngs, Foden, and you know, say Chris Ashton. I mean, we've actually found out today that other people can score for England other than him. You have a quality finisher like him, you know, it sort of reminds me of Rory Underwood, you know, when he was sort of playing, you know. It makes a massive difference.
Yeah, the old boy finally gets in on the try-scoring act. I don't think he's scored a try this century for England, Mark Whiteover, but good to see him get that monkey off his back, because I know full well at Pennyhill he's had quite a lot of verbal just because he can't get on the score sheet.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult though, isn't it? I think he brings an awful lot to the team. You know, you don't have to score tries to contribute, but yeah, definitely I think he'll have a smile on his face now, and hopefully a few more come his way.
Tom, yours is a remarkable story in that we look at where you've gone to in terms of coming out of Coventry. And Barker's Butts were actually here today. They were getting the seal of approval, which is your first club. And then you've gone to Worcester. Worcester's, yeah, nice in the Championship. But you've actually now moved on to Northampton, and now you've tasted the big time. How big is the difference between club and country?
It is big. I think the anticipation, the expectation on you, and just the overall intensity of a game is huge. But you know, once you're out there, it's just another game of rugby, and you just got to do all the things you normally do well, and the things that have got you to this level. You know, it's been really easy for me coming into the team with such a great group of lads, making me feel at home. So yeah, I've been really fortunate in that sense.
We saw another debutant today in Alex Corbisiero. It's hard to think that 3 years ago he was part of the under-20s Grand Slam team. Again, we've seen Ben Youngs, we've seen Courtney Laws. This is the influx of new blood that England need as we go into a World Cup year, isn't it? It feels right now.
Yeah, we've got great strength and depth, and there's a big talent pool. You know, the under-20s, under-19s, and have been successful for quite a while. But now the transition to senior rugby, you know, through the clubs with the EPS agreement, there's a lot more sort of liaising going on. It means they can make that transition without it sort of being a step into the unknown where it might have been previously.
As we look towards us here, as half-time, as we look towards this World Cup year, Nick, how different does this Six Nations feel with that at the end of it? Presumably it has a slightly different feel to every game as that progression towards New Zealand continues?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the last tournament we're in before, you know, the World Cup tournament, so we've got to make it count, and you know, it's short time till the World Cup, so we've got to build really quickly, and I think, you know, we're making progress at the moment, but you know, still 3 games to go, and we had 2 out of 2 last year, so let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, if I'm going to play devil's advocate now, after the second game of the Investec series in November, we were like this, weren't we? Because it was Australia and everything in the garden looked rosy. How cautious have England got to be with the way things are progressing now, or are we in a different place?
Yeah, I think we are in a different place. We're a better team for it, you know, playing week in, week out in the Investec. You know, we realise that, you know, we probably have to do things differently, and coming up against, you know, the best teams in the world. We've got a break before the next game, and you know, that's going to be a whopper, isn't it? You know, sort of 2 weeks to build to the French game. We've got them at home, Grand Slam champions. You know, something to really look forward to, but yeah, we've got to make it count, as you say.
Tom, we saw the French put lots of points on Scotland last week. Obviously, they're playing in Ireland tomorrow, but that is a huge challenge, and if you can get over round 3, then England have got to be thinking Grand Slam. I know you're going to be told 1 game at a time, but the opportunity is there this season.
Yeah, the opportunity is definitely there. You know, the confidence is flowing through the team at the moment, having had a pretty successful autumn and doing well so far, but you've got to keep your feet on the ground. You know, you can't get carried away with performances like today. You've got to enjoy it, but you've got to be hard on yourselves as well. And when you look at the video, you know, we'll definitely have some things to put right before France, and that will be, like you say, a completely different level. So, you know, feet on the ground all the time, but you know, you've got to enjoy your wins as well.
Right, if you've got some questions for Tom and for Nick, start thinking now, because we'll pose some questions from the crowd. One other question is tradition, Tom, that the debutant has to sing a song on the coach coming up. Have you thought what you're going to sing yet?
I did mine last week, but
what was it?
It was Delilah, because the Welsh sang it.
It was crap. It was crap. That's what it was.
It was barely audible.
I think you should repeat it here. What do you reckon, guys?
I can tell you, we've had Ricky Fleeting in here, we've had Matt Stevens in here. Now we've got Tom Wood. The stage is yours, sir.
Passed by her window. I saw the flickering shadows of love on the blind. She was my woman. As she deceived me, I watched and went out of my mind. Like a slave that no man could free.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Sweating more than I was for game.
Mate, that's part of the initiation. That's brilliant. Hey, top man. Right, let's have some questions from the guys. If you got your hand, got a question, put your hands up, and we'll try and get you there. So this gentleman here.
Are you gentlemen going to Tyndall Stag Do?
To where?
Tyndall Stag Do.
Hey, I can't wait to see that, because can you imagine in the church you've got HRH and all the royalty, and on this side you've got Mike Tyndall's family and all you guys. Are you going?
I haven't had the invite yet, but I'll be crashing it. I'll be crashing it if I don't.
I heard Ian Bullshaw's the best man.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That'll be an interesting speech. Right. Anybody else got a question for the guys? Yeah, over the back. Who have you got, Rob?
Just a quick one. Who do you think poses the biggest threat on the serious note now? Either France or Ireland?
Froggy!
Come on.
Right, and you've missed Scotland. I have to say, Scotland are a bigger threat this season than perhaps we've seen recently. Nick, would you agree with that? Who would be the biggest threat on the next 3 matches? Who do you think is the biggest threat to you?
You know, I could give you the party line. You know, they're all, you know, all treating with the utmost respect what they can do, and they're all playing well. But you'd have to say, because we're away from home, it's got to be the Irish. You know, it's a tough place to go. We're at home to Scotland and France. Obviously, we're away to them. It'd probably be a different answer. It'd probably be France, but you'd probably say that. But they're all going to be very, very tough.
Tom, because you've played so many of these teams now in the Heineken Cup for the club, does it make a difference when you're approaching an international? Because they're familiar faces, you know what's coming at you.
Yeah, I mean, you know some of the individuals, but you know, it's always different when you wear your national shirt, and there's always that extra bit of passion and intensity in the game. So, yeah, I mean, the nerves are always there, and you just got to prepare as you always do, really.
Excellent. Right, another question. There's a young man here. Sorry, what's your name, sir?
Jasper.
How old are you, Jasper?
9.
You married?
No.
Good job. Right, what's your question?
Can I have your signature?
Yeah. The boys will do it for you. We're going to have some autographs in a minute. We'll come to you first, I promise. As long as it's not a cheque. Right, this lady here.
Hi, my son's not actually here. He's at home. He's called Luke. He's 11. He plays rugby. Can you give him some advice? What can inspire him to go on to play for England? His dad's also a Kiwi, so he can play for Ireland.
Nick, you played rugby in a lot of countries around the world. When you see youngsters now and what's possible, you know, we're seeing a different thing from when you grew up playing rugby. Everything's possible. What do you say to a youngster like that, like Luke, about how he can really progress and maybe get to the top like you have?
Well, you can sing better than Woody just did for a start. I'll endear you. No, mate, just make sure you enjoy all sports, to be honest with you. That'd be my advice, because you can pick up, you know, little tidbits playing all different sports, whichever one you want to go into. So for you, it's rugby or whatever like that. And just work on your skills, because especially with rugby, you don't know physically where you're going to be. You can sort of start off at fly half and then turn into like a prop or a 6'9" lock or something like that. So, you know, just work on your basic skills, enjoy all the sports you play, because it'll benefit the one you actually finally do decide to do.
Tom, I remember Richard Hill telling me when he first started, Richard Hill, the flanker, that he first started playing at fly half. When did you first start playing rugby?
I was inside centre, but I was a very direct option. There weren't many balls going out past me, so...
Right, where's Rob? Where are you? Another question, go on.
Well done today, guys. Great win. Quick question. Which team do you actually love beating more than anyone else?
Do you mean club or country? I think you've got the response here. Is it Wales? Nick? Oh, he's in two
Probably South Africa.
Okay, interesting. This lady here.
Would they allow me to bring some terminally ill kids to watch them practice and also come?
I'm sure we can sort that out. If you come and talk to me afterwards, let me take that. I will sort that out for you. Promise we get that sorted. Right, gentlemen over here.
Well played, guys. My question is when you line up, which one player do you really want to now?
Is that apart from Chris Ashton?
Because we're back row, we're probably braver than most. There's probably the biggest guy in their team, just to set a tone. But yeah, if you're Chris Ashton or like Danny Kerr or something, it's probably the smallest.
What about the opposition?
Little man syndrome.
What about the opposition? Who is the one that you really want to put your mark on, in inverted commas, as soon as you get out there? Tom, you must have a few.
Must be fucking handsome.
Mind your language, thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's generally your opposite number, because you don't want him running away with the game. Or for a flanker, it's probably the number 8, because that's normally who you're up against. So, you know, but especially if someone's talked it up before the game, then you've got to get your one shot in, haven't you?
Nick, you were up against one of the world's best number 8s in Sergio Parise today. Did you get your mark in early?
Yeah, I pulled a few more strands of hair out of his quality challenge head. To be honest, it's the only thing I can pick on. The bloke's married to Miss France. He's like captain of Italy. He's a star bloke in Stad. For a forward, he's pretty good looking. So, you know, I think I'll have a pop at his lack of hair.
Right, Rob, where are you? Go on, can't see you, wherever you are, go on.
Which one of you can finish a beer quicker?
Which one of you? Can you say it again?
Which one of you can finish your drink quicker?
Right. Who's... Huh? Nick said he'll show you if you get him a pint. Never won the Miss Alma Freebie, Mr. Easter. Right, let's have this gentleman down here.
Great game today, guys. Lovely little offhand. Brilliant tonight, Tyndall. Of the two teams you played, Italy or Wales, which were tougher, which are harder to face?
That's a good question, actually, because especially for the forwards, you know, Italy, we know what their pack are like. Tom, if you could equate last week to this week, which was the tougher match from a forward perspective?
From my point of view, it was sort of going into the unknown a little bit, and the intensity of the Welsh game was definitely higher. The atmosphere at the Millennium Stadium, you know, backs against the wall kind of thing, that was really the pressure there. Today the pressure was, once we got ahead, could we keep the momentum going? And you know, it's always a tough battle in the forwards against the likes of Italy. You know they're going to come straight at you. You just got to be brave and get stuck in. It's more of a war of attrition against them, whereas the skill level and things were slightly higher against Wales. So I guess that's the difference.
Next up is the French, another big pack. It's going to be even more difficult, isn't it, with them? A bit more savvy, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, they've got quality throughout. Excellent scrum at the moment, well-drilled side, but we love playing them, they love playing us. You know, it's a date you look forward to, the rugby calendar, and bring it on, really.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough for the questions. Now, the guys are going to stay and do some autographs. They're going to start with Jasper. A big thank you to Tom Wood and Nick Easter.